So, Pop, I want to talk to you today about our family, like how I want to retrace all the steps, where we came from, and how we got to here, because I think it's interesting for people to know how somebody like yourself got to Memphis, Tennessee. So, it all started in Germany, correct?
Germany is where I was born. Yes, I came to America when I was approximately 3 years old.
Where were you born in Germany?
A town called Ulm, which nobody would have heard of. It's a suburb of, I believe, Bremen.
So why did your family come to the United States from Germany, or how did?
Well, we were immigrants in displaced persons camps, and we were waiting for an approval to one of the family members that lived in America to be a sponsor of us.
So you already had family here in the U.S.?
In the U.S., yeah. We had cousins. My parents had cousins that lived in America.
How did they get here?
They were here a lot longer. No, I don't know. I have no clue. They've been probably here for a good 30 years before that. So everybody's got family in America. From the old country, everybody's got some family member, cousin, or
so to recap,
or
basically,
uncle or somebody.
To recap, you were born in a displaced persons camp after World War II.
That's correct.
In Germany.
Yes.
And then from there, you got a choice, or you didn't get a choice, but you were able to come to the United States.
Yeah, right.
You had family here in the United States that were going to sponsor you.
Exactly.
And so where were they?
They lived in Philadelphia, and they proclaimed that they would make sure that we would be taken care of by them. They would help us out and find us a place to live and get my father trained into an occupation.
So when you came here, though, you didn't go to Philadelphia, did you?
Yes.
Really? You went straight to Philadelphia?
We were in Philadelphia.
So how did you get to New York?
Well, after a while, my parents, certainly my mother, wasn't that happy about living in Philly since she had sisters that had moved or had come to America a couple months earlier that went to New York and lived in Brooklyn. And so she wanted to be close to her sisters. So they made the decision, and my dad wasn't happy being a car mechanic, so they found that they could...
Wait a minute, hold on a second. This is funny. Your dad was a car mechanic?
I know, for somebody else...
He couldn't drive.
Not only that, he didn't know how to use a screwdriver.
Yeah, how was he a car mechanic?
They just picked something up. Who knows?
Did he put air in tires? Or
who knows? In the good old days of the 50s, who knows?
Oh,
I don't know if they
crazy.
were the crazy cars.
So what year did they move to New York in?
Oh, I would believe about 52, 53.
Okay, so let's see. So you moved to the U.S. in 1951, and then your parents and you and Robert moved to Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
In 1952. What did your dad do in Brooklyn?
He learned a trade. They taught him one of those organizations that took care, just like Catholic Charities. He was in a different organization, and they placed him in a job with training. Those days, New York had a large garment center, so he learned in the garment industry to become what they call a cutter, which basically means you cut out patterns that they're going to produce and make clothing or different designs for clothing, sweaters, whatnot. So he learned to become a cutter, and that was his avocation for the rest of his life.
Gotcha.
And
what is it?
My mother was also a seamstress.
Can I ask you that?
And later on, she became a designer of high fashion clothing for very upscale women.
So in our DNA, there's fashion in our DNA, obviously.
Well, also entrepreneurship, because they came to America with nothing, just the pants on them, the pants and skirts that they were wearing, and they made a life for themselves and made sure their kids would get the proper education they needed them to further their avocations in the future.
So your dad worked in the garment workers, or the garment center in New York City, and your mom made dresses?
Well, she was a seamstress for a while. She was a seamstress and worked for a very high fashion retailer in Brooklyn that had some really basically for more upscale designer type
So
clothing store.
what year did she go out on her own and start making dresses on her own?
Well, when there was a family business, and the old boss passed away, and the young son who took it over wanted to move the business to New York City itself, within Manhattan.
From Brooklyn?
Yes, and she figured her kids were still kind of small, and she figured she was talented enough to go out on her own, and she had a big customer base who seeked her out and found her, and of course one referral after another, and she made specialty couture dresses with pictures and special design. She designed stuff, picked out fabrics for them. They could choose their own fabrics. It was all handmade.
It was all custom. Basically, she was making custom dresses.
All custom, and they had custom fittings. It would fit exactly like it was supposed to be.
Gotcha. So it is. So again, I guess doing custom jewelry work, having jewelry, selling jewelry, and making jewelry, all that kind of stuff, obviously is in our DNA, and being entrepreneurs is also in our DNA.
Absolutely, it's the American dream for anybody. America's a great country. That if you all you have to do is have some drive and ambition. If you have ideas and work hard, you will achieve a certain modicum of success.
So just bring me up to speed a little bit further in the future. So you immigrate here from Germany, from displaced person camp. You come through Philadelphia, end up in Brooklyn, New York. Your mom goes to work for a dressmaker. Your dad goes to work in the garment district, and she goes out on her own, has her own business making dresses. Fast forward to when you and Uncle Bob got older, Uncle Robert got older, and you guys, how did you get in the jewelry business originally?
Well, as we were young, we always wanted to be in our own businesses. We decided at first, of course, I did work for some retailers, for some department store retailers, and over time, I just.
Where did you work?
A department store, one that is no longer available. It was called Alexander's Department Store. It was similar to maybe a Macy's or whatever. I don't believe they're around anymore. So I was a department store manager, and I did that for a while. So I learned some of the retail business. Then I also did some distribution for learner shops. And I did that. When Robert decided, Robert had a cleaning store for a while, and
like dry cleaning.
Yes, and he went ahead. But I mean, we just had this opportunity. My cousin was a one-man operation up in New York City, Manhattan, and he sort of struggling at the time because businesses have their ups and downs. And he got in a conversation with Robert, and he asked him if he would like to take a shot. Robert was always good at getting to know people and being able to have some great ideas to innovate. So he asked him if he would be interested in getting involved in his business and see if he could help him grow. And Rob decided it was worth a shot at that because it seems like something that was really interesting and motivating. So we went into the business with my cousin, and as time went on, he needed a third person to help with the manufacturing, because basically we were doing the manufacturing, making what they call lockets, jewelry lockets.
Yeah, everybody knows what lockets are, yeah.
Lock is a product that is really handmade, very intricate, and it takes a lot of time to do it. Each one is individually made. Those are things that are
moving parts too.
Right,
yeah.
And those are things that you use as keepsakes, because what you do is you put pictures inside the locket. It opens up for your most precious moments, or the people you love the most, and it stays with you right where it's supposed to be. So we did that, and over time, so I was involved in helping out with that, and over time, we decided that a good territory for us would be, instead of hanging out in New York, is down in the South, Mid-South, whatever. So Robert used to travel with our sample lines and come down to Mid-South and areas like Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana.
So you had a New York boy traveling all the way down here, down south, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
SEC country.
Absolutely. And certainly we definitely established a long list of clients down here, and he loved the reception he got.
What year was that, approximately?
I'm trying to figure out 40. I was
Like 1980 or something, 1978.
About early 70s, I think. So
Okay.
I'd have to do some math. I believe it was the early 70s. I was probably mid 20s, maybe early 22, 48. About 70, 71 that we did that. So he traveled quite a bit down here over the years. For about 3 years, he loved the reception down here, loved the people, loved the atmosphere, loved the friendliness of the people he met, and it seemed that we figured we would take a risk since it was getting kind of cost prohibitive to up there in New York City, and the competition was a little more complicated. And we said we would move our operations down to Memphis, Tennessee. He's been there before, and he definitely liked it over here. So he came down by himself for and stayed there a few years, and got himself situated. And then we moved whatever we had up there, and we did manufacturing from here, and we did quite a bit. And he continued to travel from here. And then, just like any other business, you got to innovate, or you wind up moving on. So then we got into the coin jewelry business, because that was a very specialty item too.
Right.
And we sold thousands of coin rings to some major retailers around the country, some big chains, and we were number one in that in numerous years. But of course, over time, like anything else, the coin ring fad sort of died out. And then we got into selling a bunch of tons of pink ice, and that fad was going for a while. Then slowly, we could see the market conditions were changing, and we needed to diversify. So we decided we would also open a retail location, and we opened up one on Summer Avenue that we were there for like 35 years, and then we sort of expanded.
The original Robert Irwin. Yep.
Exactly. Then we sort of expanded to the other locations that we are where we are now. And the funny thing, being in business for now, in Memphis, Tennessee, for 40 years or so. I have to be exact.
It's 40. This year is 40 years.
What's
40 years.
What's amazing is when I see the grandkids of some of our customers coming into the store and remembering them when they were just little tots. So it sort of really tells us how interesting it is that we've matured, and we see all these families growing up, and they've been very loyal customers, and we certainly take care of each customer as if they're one of the family members. So we don't believe in just making a sale today and goodbye tomorrow. We want to.
That's right. We had generations of customers.
Absolutely generational, and we know many of them by their first names, and certainly we had to help them all the way through their jewelry purchases and whatever else they need during that time, and repairs and whatnot.
So what is it that you do at Robert Irwin Jewelers besides being the founder, one of the owners? What do you do at this point in time? What is your main job right now?
Well, I help out in the biggest thing I guess I help out is in the repair department, where it takes a little bit of sizing, millimeters for stones, helping the jeweler, and each product.
Takes a lot of technical knowledge.
Helping the jeweler with
obviously
analyzing.
Doing this your whole life, you have a lot of technical knowledge, correct?
We have to analyze each piece that's come in for repair, to see the best way to proceed to get it back to its original looking the way it was. So that's my main job. And the rest is. Do you like it? Do I like it? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, just making sure.
And I like meeting my old clients.
Yeah.
I like seeing those old family members. Some of them are my age now, so we get to talk about how's your family doing, and how's your kids, and how's your grandkids.
So this being your first time on film,
yeah,
for our advertising for Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, how did you like it?
Very interesting. I usually don't put my face out in the public, since next to the president, I'm the most important person in the universe.
Well, I would agree. I would definitely agree with that. So do you think we'll be able to see you again on social media, or is this a one-time appearance for Papa Lombardi? By the way, we call him Papa Lombardi, a.k.a. Mr. Irwin, a.k.a. Mad Max.
That will depend on the response we get.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So
I may have to come next time in incognito.
So if you like this video about the history of Robert Irwin Jewelers and where my family comes from, uh, give us a like here on Facebook. Share it with your friends, and leave us some comments in the comments section. And if you'd like, shoot me any other questions that you may have at Ask Howie K on Twitter.